Hi guys, this is Soyeb Aftab. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about why you might be studying incorrectly and what is the most efficient and productive way to study a chapter so that you can prepare the chapter in a bulletproof manner such that you don't get your questions wrong even after you have prepared the chapter. So first off, let's start with biology. What is the most efficient and productive way to start and study a biology chapter? Some of you might argue that the most efficient way is to start out directly with NCERT. Others might have a different opinion. Some of you might want to go directly to your class or to your online coaching and directly just start studying from there. Again, some of you might start studying from a module, let's say a coaching module, or some of you might even start with a reference book. The point is, if you are starting to study yourself from, let's say, a reference book or from NCERT directly, I believe that you might be wasting a lot of your time because you have no idea about what you have to study and what you don't have to. So you might study the whole chapter without thinking about all this stuff. You might not have an idea from where the questions actually come and what is actually important for your, let's say, competitive exam or even for your boards too. Let's talk about the first scenario. आपको पता चला है कि आपकी कोचिंग में या फिर आपके स्कूल में जो है वो चैप्टर स्टार्ट होने वाला है. सो यू डिसाइड टू गो थ्रू द एनसीईआरटी, होल ऑफ द एनसीईआरटी चैप्टर एंड यू स्टार्ट टू प्रिपेयर फ्रॉम दैट डे इटसेल्फ. यू डोंट हैव एनी आइडिया कि चैप्टर में आपको पढ़ना क्या है, कि चैप्टर में इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है या फिर चैप्टर को कैसे पढ़ना चाहिए आपको. बट यू जस्ट मेक अप योर माइंड दैट कुछ तो पहले से आइडिया होना चाहिए. सो यू स्टार्ट स्टडिंग. एंड इन माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अगर आप एक नीट के स्टूडेंट हो, इफ़ यू आर अ स्टूडेंट हु इज़ प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर ए कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम लाइक नीट और जेई और एनीथिंग, देन टाइम इज़ ऑलवेज लेस फॉर यू. तो अगर आप बायो यानी नीट के ही मोस्ट प्रोबेबली अगर आप स्टूडेंट हैं, तो अगर आप ऐसा टाइम दे रहे हैं, अगर आप पूरी एनसीईआरटी पढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं या फिर आप पूरी रेफरेंस बुक इवन बिफोर इट स्टार्टेड इन योर लेट्स से क्लास, ऐसे बहुत लोग करते हैं. दे बिलीव दैट इट गिव्स देम एन एज ओवर अदर स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव नॉट स्टार्टेड येट. बट आई डू बिलीव डिफरेंटली. अगर आपको कोई आइडिया नहीं है चैप्टर के बारे में, देन यू शुड प्रोबेबली नॉट स्टार्ट इट. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ, यू कैन वॉच अ इंट्रोडक्टरी वीडियो ऑन यूट्यूब. जैसे अगर आप यूट्यूब या कोई भी वीडियो सोर्स से आप सर्च कर सकते हैं कि इस चैप्टर में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, इस चैप्टर के बारे में क्या क्या पढ़ना है. एंड यू कैन गेट अ लॉट ऑफ दो स्टफ ऑन यूट्यूब दैट इज़ अवेलेबल फ्रीली कि आपको इस चैप्टर से क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, इस चैप्टर में कैसे तरह के क्वेश्चन आते हैं. सो दैट यू कैन डू. Next, let's come to the question part. So the point is, even after you study with the whole of NCERT, after 2 to 3 days, most of us tend to forget it. Even I face the same problem. That's why I was a bit weak on biology side. So I used to face the problem that whenever I used to study the whole of NCERT, even after revising it, after 3 to 4 days, I used to forget a lot of the stuff because biology is a very volatile subject. And the problem is 90% of the questions in NEET are going to come from biology, and since physics is tough for most of the NEET students, so it's important that you don't lose any marks in biology and chemistry. So it's also important that you practice questions from most of the lines of NCERT. So I searched for an interesting way to do this, and that's when I found MemoNeet app. So guys, let's see what this app is all about. So an important point to remember before going into this is that 90% of the questions of NEET 2021 biology questions came directly from MemoNeet. They have analyzed it and uploaded proof on their YouTube channel. So it has close to around 20,000 plus questions taken from each and every line of NCERT bio. You have diagrams, you have chapter summary, you have everything is included in this. So as you can see, it has a very interactive interface so that everyone can study for at least 30 minutes a stretch or more. Because nowadays we have reduced attention span, so that's a problem definitely. So if you're a person who is lazy or bored to practice NCERT bio and chemistry, then this app is for you, and it has good technology, and you have all the instructions mentioned here, and you have questions from almost most of the important lines of NCERT. As you can see, this question dash and dash are the twin characteristics of growth. So increase in mass, increase in number of individuals. So you have the explanation too here. Guys, let's talk about how the MemoNeet revision algorithm works. So let's say you solve a question on the first day, then it is moved into temporary memory, and then you have short-term memory, and then you have long-term memory. So you have like 7 steps until that is moved into permanent long-term memory. And let's say you get a question wrong, then that question stays at that level and it doesn't upgrade into the next level. So you have around 7 steps. So by the time you solve all of these 7 steps, it really and actually moves into your permanent long-term memory. Also, the time duration for this is like the Fibonacci series. You have the first day, the third day, the fifth day, and the seventh day. So these questions appear at regular intervals so that you can space up your revisions accurately. As you can see, guys, most of the content, almost half of it is free, but rest of it you have to pay for a subscription. So I guess around 4,400 is the subscription price, but here you have some kind of offers, early bird offer and stuff. So you have around, I guess, 2,600 you have to pay, and you can pay using UPI and stuff. And as you can see, continue to payment, you get all of these methods, like you can pay via UPI, you can pay via Paytm, you can enter your UPI ID here and pay via Paytm. Or even if you can't do that, you can go for online payment method, and you can send email to memoneet.team@gmail.com and they will help you to pay through bank transfer. So let's talk about the ideal first step, कि आपको पहले क्या करना चाहिए. So in my point of view, the ideal first step is to go and attend your coaching class or go to your school and see what your teacher has to say, what your teacher teaches you. आपके टीचर क्या आपको पढ़ा रहे हैं, क्या बता रहे हैं, उसके बारे में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट मार्क कर रहे हैं, एंड वट एवर एक्स्ट्रा दैट द टीचर टेल्स यू. सो दैट्स एवरीथिंग दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. और उसके बाद what you have to do is you have to go through the NCERT after coming back to your, let's say, home or during your self-study time. You go through the NCERT whole, and you have a lot of spaces in your NCERT. I'll show you, right? Let's say you have this chapter. This is the chapter 1, the living world of NCERT, which is class 11th NCERT, and you are starting this chapter. So this is after you have been taught by your, let's say, school teacher or coaching class teacher or wherever you go. And or let's say you don't have access to any of these and you're studying from, let's say, online resources. Then after you have watched a YouTube video on that, or after you have watched an online video source, then you have begun studying the chapter. So the first thing, you have mostly in your biology NCERT, the first paragraph, you can see the first paragraph is mostly useless. You can see a lot of stuff which is not relevant. Again, बहुत लोग ये बोलते हैं कि NCERT के हर एक जो लाइन है उसमें से क्वेश्चन बनते हैं. आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स ट्रू, क्योंकि जैसे फर्स्ट जो पैराग्राफ है इसमें आई डोंट थिंक कि इसमें से कोई क्वेश्चन बन सकता है ना. सो जस्ट हैव अ रीड वंस, बट इट्स नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो आई एम मार्किंग अक्रॉस हियर, बट यू कैन रीड इट वंस. और उसके बाद वी प्रोग्रेस इनटू द चैप्टर, एंड देन let's say you have this, what is living, how do you define living, and you start studying. After you have a brief idea, let's say आपके टीचर ने आपको पढ़ा दिया है, and he had also given a few extra points, so you can write all these extra points on this part. So I have the PDF here, but if you don't have a PDF, you have the offline copy, then that's better again. तो यहाँ पे make a note of everything extra that is being said by your teacher. और उसके बाद आप क्या कर सकते हो, let's say while you are studying the NCERT, you can highlight portions like this is important. You feel that this is important, all living organisms grows, and then you are highlighting this. So increase in mass, increase in number are twin characteristics of growth. You can highlight all of this stuff. What else you can do is, after you have marked and highlighted the whole chapter, then you can go through again all of the highlighted points plus the points which you have written here, the points which you have written beside the NCERT. So guys, I'm hoping that you have got the most productive and most efficient way to study a chapter. Particularly I'm talking about biology. That's what I explained in this video. So the point is, you have to do first, study from your teacher or from your coaching classes or whatever video source that you have. Let's say you do it from YouTube, that's fine too. But you have to do it there so that you can get an idea about how and what to study in this topic. Then you move on to, let's say, studying the chapter on your own, self-study part. That's where you do all of the NCERT and all of the extra points that you learned during your classes, during your whatever your teacher taught you. And then you move on to the questions. Please don't mess up the sequence, because that's where things go wrong. कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, they directly start from questions. कुछ लोग they start directly reading from a reference book. Again, and I'm saying that again, you don't have to do reference books for biology, because close to 90 to 95% questions are directly out of NCERT. So So if you get almost all of them right, then you are done for around 340 or 330 to 340 marks out of 360. And even the rest of the questions, like even if you want to score 360 out of 360, or you want to score above 350, the rest of the questions are based on NCERT too. You just have to apply a little bit of your brain, or you just have to relate a few concepts, and that's all. So guys, hopefully you all understood how to study, and that's where I'll take your leave. Please like this video, subscribe, comments, and guys, milte hain next video पे. Thank you.